The Mustang Geek Ford Godzilla VCT Toolkit is a comprehensive all-in-one solution for removing, installing, and modifying the VCT setup on 7.3-liter gas Ford Godzilla engines without breaking the bank. Here's how to use it. Before we begin, I got some spacers, big washers here, and put them behind the damper bolt and used an old damper bolt and tightened it on the crankshaft nose. I'm using the spacers here so that the bolt doesn't bottom out in the crankshaft. And I use this to rotate the engine until the keyway is pointing towards cylinder number 1. And on Fords, this is cylinder number 1. So piston right now is at top dead center with the keyway pointing toward it. Then on the VCT assembly, the notch in the VCT assembly is kind of at the 4:30, 5 o'clock position, 45 degrees down and to the right. So with the VCT assembly notch this way and the keyway this way, we're ready to get started. Next, we take the Mustang Geek VCT holding spanner and we position it on the VCT assembly like this and use the hardware to attach it to the block. You will see that the spanner is wrapped around the left side of the VCT assembly, and that's because the force goes this way when you are loosening the bolt. So we also have this spacer installed here between the holding tool and the block. This spacer will align the tool to the outside diameter here of the VCT assembly. And you can see here that the VCT assembly actually has a bit of a step in it. And that step is actually larger in diameter, and that way the tool actually fits over this better to hold it more securely, especially where this notch meets the tool. Next, we take the included socket, use it on the VCT control valve, and loosen the bolt, valve, whatever you want to call it. Before we remove the timing components, we're going to take a little pin here and stick it in this tensioner. Nice and big so that we don't forget about it later. We got the guide and the tensioner off, and we're just going to remove the rest of the timing components. This engine already has all the lifters removed, but if the lifters were still in the engine, as in like the heads were still on, what you do is you loosen the rocker arms, pull out the push rods, and then you rotate the camshaft 1 revolution, and what that does is it parks the lifters up into the trays that holds them and keeps them from falling out. So you don't have to take the heads off to remove the cam. Then we take the camshaft retainer plate off, and this way then we can slide the cam out. Take a 21mm wrench right here, use it, thread it in, use the old VCT bolt here so you don't scratch it up or whatever, but thread this sucker in here on the box end, and then you can use this as leverage when you're taking your cam out. You don't have to have a long handle. In order to do that, you can get good leverage here right off the bat when you're sliding the cam out. Super, super handy trick. Check it out. We've got the camshaft all lubed up here, and then we have our 21mm box end wrench with the old VCT control valve fastener thing on the end. And we can just use that for leverage again to move the cam and slide it into position. We have the Mustang Geek Godzilla VCT spanner clamped in a vise here. We take the VCT assembly and nest it in the tool, which will hold it while we remove these Torx head screws. The Mustang Geek VCT toolkit comes with a T30 Plus hex bit, which is different than a normal Torx 30. This is a Torx Plus. You can see the difference here in the tooth shape, and it's really evident here when you look at how loose this is in the screws, where the Torx T30 Plus fits it properly, no slop there. So that keeps you from stripping the heads of these screws out if you use the proper Torx Plus 30 bit, which is included with the Mustang Geek VCT Godzilla toolkit. With the Torx Plus T30 bit in a ratchet here, and I'm using an adapter so I can use a 3/8 ratchet, but using the tool that's included with the kit, we're going to loosen these, we're going to remove these 3 screws, and this one we're just going to loosen. And when we take these 3 screws out, we're going to put them in the holes in the spanner so that we know which screw went where. So this one does not have a hole that corresponds to it, but we have this hole over here for the bottom screw. With this screw loose, We can swing this out of the way. Careful, this thing likes to fly out, so we're just going to keep that in place right there. And then now we can access the cavity here and put the travel limiter in place. This screw's a little bit longer and it's in the spring, so I just use a needle nose pliers to pull that out here. So that screw goes here, this screw goes there, and that screw goes there. The timing wedge or travel limiter goes into the pocket right by the number here. You can see there's like these little stops. That's where this goes, just right in there. Then we're going to rotate a cover back into place. Keep your finger on that little pintle to keep it from flying away. And then we take the long screw, the screw with the long little extension on here, put it in this hole. Now we have to take a screwdriver, flat blade, put it in here to move the spring that was there and move it out of the way. And then just screw this in by hand a little bit. Maybe grab the bit, help you out, get it into position. There we go. Even with these two fasteners loosely installed, the bottom plate doesn't quite line up because there's spring pressure on this. So I just have a small Phillips screwdriver here, and I'm just going to kind of get everything lined up while I loosely install this screw right here. With all these fasteners snugged up, we're going to tighten these in a crisscross pattern to 140 inch-pounds. Now we're ready to put the timing components back on the engine. Keyway, again, pointing toward #1 cylinder, which means the piston's at top dead center. We have the camshaft notch here, positioned kind of like so. And then there is a dot on the sprocket here. That dot corresponds with the single mark on the timing chain. And we're going to rotate this so that this notch is about 45 degrees, like where it was before we started. These two marks on the bottom of the timing chain straddle a mark on the crank, and I'll show you that in a second. I'm going to slide this on here, make sure this is fully seated, and then loosely install a new VCT valve bolt fastener thingy. So here you can see we have the one mark on the chain corresponds to the little dot on the sprocket. And then the two marks on the chain are straddling the groove on the crankshaft sprocket right here. You need to install a new VCT control valve. These are available from Ford though, brand new, because this is a one-time use fastener. So we're going to take the original one out, keep the cam and everything in place, and then loosely install the new valve. We have our Mustang Geek spanner here, and here we have the spacer on the back side of the spanner. Wrap it around this side of the VCT assembly. Make sure that the spanner lines up with the notch on the outside diameter here of the VCT. So that way it's nice and flush and grabs. Nice tight tolerance here just to hold the VCT while we tighten this valve. We will use the included socket with the Mustang Geek VCT kit to tighten this valve, and we tighten it 52 pound-feet, back it off 90 degrees, and then tighten it to 41 pound-feet plus 35 degrees. Installed the guide, timing chain guide here and tensioner here, and then we're going to torque these bolts to 89 inch-pounds plus 45 degrees. Done.